Do you know, I still feel like I'm winging this a little bit to some extent, although I've done it before. Preparation, I think, is probably the biggest thing, because you can't prepare for unexpected things happening, but you can prepare for the matches. I think the thing that most people find hard when they either hear a commentator do it or they try to do it themselves, even if my friends put me on the spot and say, okay, start commentating on this, we're watching a club level match or we're watching our friends training, go. I don't know where to start. I don't know. I just feel like, I think most people feel it's hard to just find something to say or what's it going to sound like, but for some reason when it's here and I don't know, you sat there with a microphone in your ears and you know nobody else is going to say anything. It's you. You've got to do something.
Bobby Griffin can naturally translate his passion on the court onto the TV screens through his commentary. But this was far from a natural process, with many lessons learnt along the way. The player turned commentator talks about the transition that led to him becoming one of the main voices for badminton.
But it all started at the Denmark Open, I don't know how many years ago now, maybe 4 years ago. Yeah, I volunteered to work at the Denmark Open. A friend of mine is Danish and works out there, and they volunteered each year in Odense at the Denmark Open, and I think they needed an English voice to do it, and I'm a bit of a badminton geek, I suppose. And I was working out there. She said, hey Bobby, maybe you could do this. I said, sure, no problem, that'll be fun. You know, scripted stuff, covering highlights. And Badminton Denmark run court number 2, and it goes out to Badminton World TV as a live stream, as a second court. They lost their second commentator, and she asked if I'd jump in. And I said, look, I have no idea what I'm doing, never done that before. If you think it's a good idea, then that'll be fun. You know, it gives me a job to do. And they offered to look after me for the week to do that. And I said yes, and the morning it was meant to start, the Tuesday, the start of play, I got a call at like 6 a.m. They said, we've lost our lead commentator. He's been poached, I think, by the professional team on court 1. He's working with them. You're on your own. We'll try and find you some help. Good luck. And fortunately, the tech office, the guys were really keen on the way I was working with them to try and get the best out of this situation. We didn't have a clue what we were doing, but within a day or two, we were interacting with the live stream and all the viewers on YouTube. We were asking them questions. We were getting debates spurred. They were hashtagging stuff in. Because I'm a badminton player and my friend in Denmark, we knew all of the English guys and they knew who I was, and the Danish guys knew who she was. We got players, Hans Christian Wittinghus came and sat with us and co-commentated a match with me. Lena Kersveld did the same, Raj Youssef came up, and suddenly Badminton Denmark were like, this is so much better than we've ever had on TV Court 2. Come back and do it next year, and the next year, and the next year. And by the end of the week, in front, media, Jono, who looks after all the production, had seen me in action because Jill Clark sat just 2 desks away doing her thing. And he's like, who are you? What are you doing this for? How did you get involved? Let me buy you a coffee and a chat. And within 3 months, I was in Malang in Indonesia, lead commentating on my own for the Indonesia Masters, I think, in November. And yeah, started working for BWF, I guess, from there. Hardest part. There are a few tough things, actually. The length of hours that you need to concentrate for is really tough. By a mile, the preparation that you need to do that kind of job is crazy. My background and the background of para, so that part's a little bit easier, but for example, a Grand Prix Gold Chinese Taipei Masters or something like that, where you've got all the Asian community, you know, the top level badminton players turn up, but so many juniors coming through, and there's a lot of players that you just don't know. So they're not Kenta Momota, but they're the rank 30 to 80 in the world, who aren't so high profile. You don't recognise the names, you've got to do a lot of research. 7 hours prep the night before for the 7 hours on the day. And of course, you don't know who's going to be in the semi-finals until the quarter-finals are finished, which might have been 8 p.m, even 9, 10 p.m. the night before. You've then got to do the research for that match, for their match tomorrow in the semi-finals. We had a terrible storm and lightning hit the stadium on on the semi-finals. I'd been working for 2 hours, first commentary ever. Lightning hit the stadium, everything went black. The court lights, the public lights, my lights, my screen, everything's gone. But I could hear my own voice still in my cans on my ears, and the truck could still hear me. So I kind of carried on talking, thinking, well, people are still listening. And a few moments later, I'm hearing chuckling in my ears because I'm just carrying on commentating in the dark, looking at nothing, because I'm thinking, well, you can't go quiet, people are listening. So, and then a telephone pole fell over in the road on the coach back to the tournament hotel. BWF staff were on it, loads of players were on it. I'm sat next to PV Sindhu. It took an hour to clear the road, in the mess, in the rain. Everyone's late. I was all in one event. Our truck caught fire in Taipei, and again we only lost about 6 minutes because they managed to sort it out. But you don't know what to do. You're kind of sat there with a microphone, people listening, and if they can still hear you, but you've got no screen or nothing to work with, you've got to kind of ad-lib and carry on, and that's really tough. I think you can't teach that or train that. That's something that I've seemed to be a little bit more natural with. So you can't really prepare for that. But advice, I think, is just try not to get flustered when things happen that are outside of your control, and stay calm and stay relaxed and stay natural. Because if you're natural and it doesn't come across too fixed or rigid or wooden, at least people are engaged and will understand the situation you're in. And if you sound kind of humble and honest about what's going on, people tend to relax as well and enjoy it. Whereas if you panic and fluster and try and cover yourself up or try too hard, that's the other thing. I tried too hard at the start. Now I'm just Mr. Chill, you know.